For instance, to get into what we're up against, last year I was at a family wedding, and I got into a conversation with a guy from Medford, actually, in my district. Dyed-in-the-wool Democrat. He would never vote for a Republican. He even said, I like Scott Brown. I like him a lot. And I'm like, well, why won't you vote for him? He's a Republican. I mean, we're in Massachusetts. That's a very real thing. But I asked him, I said, well, what do you think the role of government is? He said, the role of government is to take care of us. I was like, no, the role of government is not to take care of us. And he asked me, well, what is the role of government? I said, the role of government in the United States of America, we are a constitutional republic. The role of government is to defend our rights, to be there to establish the rights of the individual above the collective. This is a battle we're going to be facing for the rest of our lives. It's never going to end. Or if we win in 2014, if we win in 2016, we don't just get to sit back and put our feet up. It's going to keep going. So we have to win the argument. Margaret Thatcher said it best. First win the argument, then win the vote. And those are wise words. Okay? We have to, as Republicans, we have to be so much better than them because there's so much against us. And as young Republicans, even though you're just getting started in political activism, you're at a great point because now you can hone your game. If you want to run for office one day, if you want to get into a campaign, you're on the ground floor and you're doing it right now. That's fantastic. We know we're right. We're right on jobs. We're right on taxes. We're right on foreign policy. We're right on Second Amendment. We're right on constitutional principles. We're right on all these issues. So we don't have to be afraid of speaking up for ourselves and knowing that we're right. Because the left is very good at distracting at shifting the subject. They love to point out the poor, I guess, the emotional argument. The emotional argument is what the left goes for. Children. The children are what's going to be hurt when you cut taxes, when you cut spending, and you can't fall for it. You got to be good at winning the argument, knowing your facts, because they're going to do whatever they can to distract from the actual issue to an issue that they want to talk about. Now, I face this, Teddy mentioned earlier, I do analysis on New England Cable News. I get up very early in the morning, go on the morning show, and I get about 5 minutes with my Democratic counterpart. We go toe-to-toe on the issues of the day, and they are very good at spitting out their talking points, and I have to be on my toes because it's going to be a complete distraction from the issue. And I should preface this by saying the candidate, it's heavily incumbent upon them to win the argument. We can do as much as we can as individuals, as members of a campaign, as Republicans, being activists, but it really is dependent upon the candidate to defeat the argument. So, you're in a great position because you, whether you know it or not, wield power. You wield power by who you volunteer for. If you're volunteering for a candidate or one candidate over another, that's power because we need volunteers as candidates. You need people to knock on doors and make phone calls and stuff envelopes and be there to help with all the daily grind of campaigning. So who you support matters. Who you talk about, who you like on Facebook, who you promote on Twitter, it all matters. Because when you're standing out there with a sign or you're going door to door with literature, somebody else isn't doing that for the other candidate. So you have power in who you decide to support. So when you're out there in the next coming elections, 2014, 2016, look for the candidate, man or woman, and this is a little aside here, ladies, the Republican Party is yours for the taking. We need women, strong women, to speak up and get in the face of the bias in the media and shoot down the ridiculous arguments that are being put forth. So you're in a great position. If if you're a female in this party. I welcome that involvement at a high level and at every level. But we need to pick candidates that can win the argument. So